2026 is officially here, and K-dramas are not easing us in gently. From major star comebacks to bold new stories, the trailers alone are already doing the work of pulling fans in and starting conversations. So, what should be on your radar right now? Let's dive into the most anticipated K-dramas of 2026, with confirmed trailers, the shows everyone's already watching closely. 12. Can This Love Be Translated?
日本の読者の皆様の수는 드라마시아다. 영어, 불어, 이탈리아 안에서까지 원래 다 봅니다.
쥐가 무슨 파파고인가?
If there's one Netflix K-drama fans are already counting down to in 2026, it's Can This Love Be Translated? Premiering January 16th, 2026, this rom-com marks the Hong sisters' return. And yes, they're bringing back the sharp dialogue, emotional miscommunication, and slow-burn tension they do best. The drama also officially brings Kim Seon-ho back to the rom-com genre, and fans have missed him here. He plays Joo Ho-jin, a multilingual interpreter whose job is to stay neutral and invisible, until he's assigned to Cha Moo-hee, a world-famous celebrity played by Go Yoon-jung. To protect her image, he starts subtly softening her brutally honest words. And those tiny choices slowly turn personal. As they travel together for an international production, filmed across Korea, Japan, Canada, and Italy, the line between professional distance and emotional attachment quietly blurs. The real conflict isn't language, but how differently they understand honesty and love. Fans are especially excited to see Kim Seon-ho back in a genre that fits him perfectly after Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, while this also marks Go Yoon-jung's first ever romantic comedy. Streaming worldwide on Netflix starting January 16th, this one's already giving cancel your plans energy. 11. No Tale to Tell.
도 닦는 짐승이 여기서 대체 뭘 하고 있는 게냐?
그래서 얼른 인간이 되라.
No Tale to Tell has been on K-drama fans' radar since 2025, and now it's finally arriving. Premiering January 16th, 2026, this chaotic fantasy rom-com kicks off the year airing on SBS and streaming weekly worldwide on Netflix, aka instant global buzz. Kim Hye-yoon stars as Yoon-ho, a 900-year-old Gumiho who absolutely loves not being human. She enjoys eternal youth, keeps up with human trends like a Gen Z icon, and carefully avoids doing good deeds so she never loses her fox powers. That plan completely falls apart after a freak accident with Kang Se-yeol, played by Lomon, a narcissistic, world-famous football star who knows exactly how rich, famous, and good-looking he is. One accident later, Yoon-ho is fully human. No tails, no magic, just emotions, consequences, and a body that suddenly bruises. The result is pure rom-com chaos, as a former Gumiho with zero interest in humanity keeps running into a golden boy athlete who's never been humbled. Until now. With Kim Hye-yoon's elite comic timing, Loman's fresh male lead energy, and a premise that flips the Gumiho trope on its head, No Tale to Tell already feels like one of January 2026's most binge-ready shows. Streaming weekly on Netflix starting January 16th, this one's been worth the wait. 10. Undercover Miss Hong.
기숙사는 왜 들어가겠다는 거야?
기숙사에 사건의 실마리가 있어요.
Undercover Miss Hong wastes no time announcing itself as one of January 2026's most addictive premieres. Dropping January 17th, this TVN weekend drama dives straight into IMF-era Seoul, where financial crime thrives, corruption is routine, and one wrong move can destroy everything. It airs on TVN and streams globally on Netflix. Since her comeback, Park Shin-hye has been choosing sharper, more layered roles, and this one fits her perfectly. She plays Hong Gyun-bo, a top financial supervisory service inspector sent undercover as Hong Jong-mi, a 20-year-old rookie employee at a suspicious securities firm linked to illegal loans, insider trading, and political protection. Inside the company, survival means playing young, clueless, and replaceable, while secretly gathering evidence that could bring powerful people down. Things get even more dangerous when she draws the attention of Shin Jong-woo, played by Go Kyung-pyo, a brilliant, emotionally closed-off CEO who trusts numbers more than people. As Gumbo closes in on the truth, their dynamic shifts from suspicion to psychological chess, with attraction complicating an already high-risk investigation. 9. In Your Brilliant Season.
참아. 사랑해. 사랑해 참아.
In Your Brilliant Season already feels like one of 2026's most heartfelt romances, bringing together Lee Sung-kyung and Choi Jong-hyop in a pairing that instantly works. The first teaser alone pulled viewers in with its warmth, emotion, and natural chemistry. Lee Sung-kyung stars as Song Ha-ran, the head designer at a high-end fashion house, Nana Atelier. On the surface, she's polished, composed, and seemingly untouchable. But behind that flawless image is a woman who has quietly shut herself off from the world after losing people she loved. Her life is controlled, carefully structured, and emotionally sealed, until it isn't. Enter Sun-woo Chan, played by Choi Jong-hyop, a character designer at a world-renowned animation studio. Chan is bright, gentle, and easy to like, but that warmth masks a deep emotional wound tied to a mysterious accident from his past. He's learned how to smile through it, but the pain has never really left. Grounded in slow-burn romance and emotional realism, In Your Brilliant Season explores what happens when two people meet again with more life experience, more scars, and more to lose, and more to give. International streaming details have not yet been announced, but with Lee Sung-kyung and Choi Jong-hyop leading the way, this one is already being talked about as a springtime must-watch romance for 2026. 8. Phantom Lawyer.
신이랑 법률사무소 대표 신이랑 변호사입니다.
내 이름 석자 걸고 최고의 법률 회사를 만들.
Phantom Lawyer is gearing up to be one of 2026's most delightfully weird and addictive premieres. This legal fantasy stars Yoo Yeon-seok as Shin Yi-rang, a lawyer who moves his office into a former shaman space and immediately starts seeing, hearing, and occasionally being possessed by ghost clients with unfinished business. From idle trainees and brilliant scientists to dangerous gangsters, each spirit literally takes over his body to demand justice, throwing Yi-rang into chaotic, unpredictable situations. And yet, beneath all the supernatural madness is a surprisingly sincere core. Yi-rang genuinely wants to listen to the voices no one else can hear. This role lets Yoo Yeon-seok show serious range, switching from timid and clumsy to wildly possessed, blending physical comedy with emotional depth in ways that feel fresh and unpredictable. Opposite him is Isom as Han Na-hyun, a hotshot lawyer with a perfect win record who initially thinks Yi-rang has lost his mind. But as bizarre cases pile up and his sincerity becomes impossible to ignore, she slowly turns into his most reliable ally, both in and out of the courtroom. Streaming in March 2026 on SBS, with global availability to follow, this is one legal drama that's anything but ordinary. 7. Perfect Crown.
좋아. 혼인하시죠.
고작 이름뿐인 신분을 얻겠다고.
Don't lie. If you're a big-time K-drama fan, I already know you've been waiting for this. Perfect Crown is set in an alternate modern Korea that operates under a constitutional monarchy, and that one twist changes everything. At its core, it's a romance between two people who look powerful on paper, yet are quietly boxed in by status, rules, and expectations. It also brings together two of the biggest K-drama stars of recent years. IU arrives fresh from the emotional success of When Life Gives You Tangerines, while Bayeon Woo-seok continues his unstoppable rise after Lovely Runner turned him into a global favorite. IU plays Sung Hee-ju, a chaebol heiress blessed with beauty, intelligence, and ambition, yet still dismissed as just a commoner in a society obsessed with bloodlines. Tired of hitting invisible ceilings, she enters a contract marriage to rewrite her place in the system. Opposite her is Grand Prince Yi-won, played by Bayeon Woo-seok, a royal who, despite being the king's son, has no real power. As the second prince, he's forbidden from standing out, speaking freely, or wanting too much. She has everything but status. He has status but no power. What starts as a strategic arrangement slowly turns dangerous as real emotions surface, forcing both to confront who they are beyond titles and privilege. Perfect Crown premieres on MBC and streams globally on Disney Plus in April 2026, and it's already shaping up to be one of the year's biggest conversation starters. 6. Sold Out Again. Today.
웬 이상한 여자가 찾아옵니다.
저기요! 차 좀 빼주시라니까요!
메추리가 애지중지하는
Sold Out Again Today is already serving chaotic, feel-good rom-com energy. And that's just from the teaser. Pairing An Hyo-seop and Chae Won-bin for the first time, this drama feels fresh, modern, and instantly bingeable. An Hyo-seop plays Matthew Lee, a quiet but insanely capable farmer juggling 3 jobs: running a farm, leading a natural cosmetics ingredient company and working as a cosmetics R&D researcher. His peaceful countryside routine gets completely derailed when Dam Ye-jin enters his life, a top home shopping show host played by Chae Won-bin, famous for selling out products in seconds but secretly battling severe insomnia and burnout. Forced into repeated encounters, their constant bickering slowly turns into comfort, healing, and a romance built on learning how to slow down together. Things get even messier with the arrival of Kim Bum as a polished executive whose presence complicates both the business side and the growing love triangle. Set against a sunny countryside backdrop, the drama leans into cozy visuals, fast banter, and a slow-burn romance that grows through small, intimate moments rather than grand gestures. Airing on SBS in April 2026, with global streaming details coming soon, sold out again. Today already feels like a rom-com sleeper hit ready to take over timelines. 5. Wicked World.
이게 호로 잡는 활약 프로미. 오늘부터 네 놈을 내 창과 방패로 써먹어야겠다. 코앞이다.
Wicked World instantly stands out as one of 2026's most original rom-coms, pairing a never-seen-before premise with a teaser that leans fully into chaos and comedy. The story begins when Lim Ji-yeon wakes up in 2026, not as herself, but as the villainess from a long-forgotten Joseon-era romance novel. In her past life, she was infamous for scheming, ambition, and dramatic power plays. Now she's stuck in modern Seoul, trying to survive skyscrapers instead of palace halls, smartphones instead of royal messengers, and iced Americanos instead of court banquets. Enter Heo Nam-joon as a ruthless chaebol heir who runs his empire with cold precision. He's rich, sharp, and exactly the kind of man this newly awakened villainess should avoid. But fate has other plans. From explosive first meetings to chaotic run-ins across boardrooms and street food stalls, their dynamic is awkward, absurd, and genuinely hilarious. Set to premiere on SBS in May 2026, this one already feels like a sleeper hit in the making. International streaming details to follow. 4. Dr. X, Age of the White Mafia.
돈과 권력의 논리에 의해 굴러가는 이 하얀 마피아의 시대에 나타난 고독한 존재.
Dr. X, Age of the White Mafia already feels like one of the boldest K-dramas in years, and it puts Kim Ji-won in a role audiences have never seen before. Premiering October 2025 on SBS, this is not your typical hospital drama. Kim Ji-won stars as Guy Soo-jong, a genius surgeon with terrifying precision and absolutely zero tolerance for politics. She doesn't bow to authority, doesn't play nice, and refuses to compromise her morals, even when facing people who control careers, money, and entire hospitals. Cold, fearless, and unbreakable, this role feels like a full career reinvention. She's backed by an elite ensemble cast that only raises the tension. Sun Hyun-joo as a hospital director torn between integrity and survival, Lee Jung-eun as the sharp head of a doctor dispatch agency who knows how the system really works, and Kim Woo-seok as a privileged intern whose worldview shatters under Soo-jong's brutal mentorship. When Dr. X, Age of the White Mafia arrives this October, it won't just be another SBS drama. International streaming details have not yet been announced, but this is one global audiences are already watching closely. 3. Manager Kim.
우린 그냥 안경 쓴 아저씨지. 제가 사과드리겠습니다.
Manager Kim is easily one of 2026's most explosive K-dramas, and the teaser leaves no doubt. This marks So Ji-sub's long-awaited return to SBS after 13 years, and he's coming back in full action mode. He plays Kim Tae-ho, a quiet office worker and devoted single father living a low-key life until his daughter suddenly goes missing. That's when the truth comes out. Kim Tae-ho isn't just a manager. He's a former elite blacklisted operative, once feared, highly trained, and incredibly dangerous when pushed. What follows is a ruthless descent into the criminal underworld, fueled by desperation and raw skill. The drama leans hard into that don't touch my family energy, mixing brutal action, emotional urgency, and noir tension as a father goes to any length to save his child. With its grounded tone, intense fight sequences, and So Ji-sub's signature restrained charisma, Manager Kim already feels like appointment viewing for action thriller fans. The series will air on SBS in 2026. International streaming details have not yet been announced, but this one's firmly on the global radar. 2. Flex X Cop 2.
웬만한 건 다 되는 세상?
Flex X Cop 2 is officially back, and Season 2 is raising the stakes by flipping the power dynamic fans loved in the first place. An Bo-hyun returns as Jin Yi-soo, the immature third-generation chaebol-turned-detective who somehow survived Season 1. This time, Yi-soo isn't just relying on money and luck. He's completed police academy training and is heading back to Violent Crimes Unit 1 as a real detective. Or at least, he thinks he is. That confidence doesn't last long. Enter Jung Yoon-chae as Ju Hye-ra, Yi-soo's former police academy devil instructor, a legendary ace from the National Police Agency's counter-terrorism unit, and now the newly appointed leader of Violent Crimes Unit 1. She's cold, brutally competent, and completely unimpressed by Yi-soo's chaebol habits. Worse, she's now his boss and partner, and she knows exactly how to break him. Season 2 leans hard into chaotic teamwork, bruised egos, and non-stop clashes as Yi-soo is forced to work under the one person who trained him the hardest and sees through every shortcut. Expect bigger cases, sharper comedy, and tension that slowly turns into reluctant respect. With An Bo-hyun's chaotic charm colliding with Jung Yoon-chae's controlled intensity, Flex X Cop 2 is shaping up to be louder, messier, and even more addictive than before. It will air on SBS and stream globally on Disney+. 1. Good Partner, Season 2.
판단은 판사 몫이지 변호사의 일이 아니라고. 법정에서 뵙죠.
Good Partner is officially coming back. And if messy divorces, brutal honesty, and emotionally unhinged legal battles are your comfort chaos, Season 2 is already calling your name. Season 1 centered on Cha Eun-kyung, played by Jong Nara, a legendary divorce lawyer who dominates the courtroom while quietly falling apart at home. Alongside her was idealistic rookie Han Yoo-ri, Nam Ji-hyun, who still believed in fairness and empathy while dealing with cheating scandals, custody wars, and clients who were equal parts tragic and exhausting. It wasn't just a legal drama, it was a painfully honest look at what happens after Happily Ever After ends. Now, Season 2 is officially happening, with Seoul Broadcasting System targeting a 2026 broadcast. Jang Nara is returning, but Nam Ji-hyun won't be back. Instead, Kim Hye-yoon joins as Yoon-kyung's new junior partner, a sharp, emotional rookie guaranteed to clash with her boss in all the best ways. More messy divorces, more morally gray cases, and a brand new senior-junior dynamic. Good Partner. Season 2 is ready to deliver comfort chaos all over again. And that wraps up our list. From chaotic rom-coms and high-stakes thrillers to deeply emotional legal dramas, 2026 is already shaping up to be another blockbuster year for K-dramas. Now, if you're curious which shows actually dominated last year, click on our video about the most watched K-dramas of 2025. Trust me, you'll want to see which dramas really took over everyone's screens.